I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this
New York.
Good morning, and we're awake, up and running on time. We've got 33 games to go through, so this will be kind of quick. We're going to go rapid fire. We're going to track Scoop versus Sauce versus Mac versus the crowd. We're going to see who has the best record. The numbers on the screen, we're going with circas, lines, and with sides and totals only, circa from 8:15 a.m. Eastern time. So if it's moved since, too bad, because that's what we're locked in at. So circa's numbers, 8:15 a.m. Eastern time. Ran a quick poll. Who will have the best record on the show today? 43% of you said Kyle, 21% said Scoop, 15% said Mac, and 22% said all three are trash.
I love the last one.
That's the one I bet on.
All right. So I added this one in, San Jose State, Texas. And the reason is I told Mac I bookmarked this, and I think he thinks he got away with it. No, I bookmarked it. I screenshotted it. Didn't get up with the alarm last week, so I wasn't able to bring it up. But we're going to bring up an Instagram post from about a month ago. Here's Mac on the beach, a walking selfie, an Instagram, TikTok-ish Instagram post. He was talking about San Jose State and some college football stuff preseason. I commented, your obsession with San Jose State is weird. Chippewas are live in the opener, keep 11.5 points. Max said, you don't even know who's coaching Central Michigan nowadays. San Jose by 3 touchdowns, bookmarked. So, yeah, I bookmarked it. I wasn't able to bring it up last week, but I didn't forget about that. You think San Jose State covers here, Mac? 38.
I do. I think that they started slow. They weren't ready for Drinkle's offense. I will say San Jose State still live to win the Mountain West. That was a non-con loss to get it out of the way. And, yeah, let's cover the big number against Texas. I'm not ready to back Texas. I think these numbers with them are inflated because of the arch hype.
Yeah, same for me, by the way. San Jose State plus the points. I actually almost bet this. I kind of like it. I think that 16-14 win for Central Michigan. They jumped out to an early lead, and I think the story of that game is San Jose State kept shooting themselves in the foot. Honestly, I wouldn't even know. I don't know if Central Michigan won that game or San Jose State gave it away. I mean, they made so many dumb mistakes throughout the game and then still had a field goal to win it at the end. They still could have won despite all of that. So I kind of agree with you in a sense that I don't think San Jose State looked nearly as bad as perceived. Yeah, give me the plus 38. Arch just got to prove it to me.
Give me the plus 38. It just sounds wild. Yeah, I mean, San Jose State were 14-point favorites against the Chippewas and scored 14 themselves. And now you're facing a rough Texas team where you scored 14 points. I got to think Arch bounces back. He's been getting slack for that game against Ohio State. But, I mean, come on, it's Ohio State. I mean, I know you guys not throwing for 308 yards, but like you guys said, also like 38.5 or whatever points is a ton of points for a team that's predicted to be, a top 2 or 3 team in the Mountain West. So I would reluctantly take the points here. I'm not betting.
So remember, it's all three of us are battling, and then the crowd as well. So we're going to see who wins out of the 4 of us, and everybody is on San Jose State plus 38. They voted for San Jose State as well. So nothing there in terms of the competition. We're all on the same thing. All right.
If the crowd wins, do we like gift them something? Like,
no, absolutely not. They ain't getting shit, dude.
Free content.
The gift of our presence.
Yeah. Love.
Illinois minus 2.5 against Duke. I gotta say, Mac, there's a couple of these games that fit this description. We talked about this game back on Monday. For those of you that watch the Monday show, it was the same 3 of us were here, and me and Mac kind of agreed. I know Mac liked Duke, and I was leaning towards Duke or under at the time. And it's not that my opinion on the game has changed. I'm a little worried that I feel like everyone's taking – it's a very, very popular dog. Not that should influence my opinion, but I just noticed that. Are you still feeling strong on Duke here, Mac?
I am. I like the matchup, man. I think Duke's defense under Diaz able to hold their own at the line of scrimmage. I mean, Bielema teams, they're going to run the ball. But I think I'm getting the more talented quarterback at home. And Duke has been really good at home over the last 2 years under Diaz and Elko. They got the best record in the ACC. Illinois, that little cute number next to their name, laying a short number. I think the Hunter versus the Hunted here. I like the Dukies to win outright, so I'll take the 2.5.
Scoop, what do you think? You're in Illinois, I think, aren't you?
I like Illinois. I don't think Mensa looked great. I mean, Duke did what they could in the second half. I think Altmaier is actually kind of better here with the 3 years experience, and Mensa's still new to a Duke program. So I like Illinois' offense, kind of like to take advantage of a leaky Duke secondary. I mean, Mensa's not going to go for 380. I doubt he'll go for over 200 this game. I mean, they're going to rely on a ground game more with Moore Jones. But I still think I love this Illinois line. Even with Edwards and Briggs gone, I don't think they really showed what they're capable of that first game. I mean, they were playing FCS schools, both of them. But I think Illinois is better on both sides of the ball. On paper, I feel like this is a 6-point type of spread, even with Duke at home. I'm not a believer in Duke this year. This line actually was, I think, earlier in the season, a 10.5-point spread in the look-ahead line, so it's down to 2.5. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this line should be – I think this line should be over a field goal. I'm not comfortable really putting on a Duke right here, so I would bet Illinois.
So when I said Duke early in the week, I was looking to get a 3.5. Duke at 2.5 is a no. So for my pick for this game, this is not a game I have a bet on. Give me the under 49. I think this is going to be an absolute battle at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I will say this is a game I have my eye on in terms of a live bet. If Illinois' offensive line is winning the battle early and Illinois just driving down the field, running the football, it may be worth a live bet on Illinois, because my whole stance on Duke is putting up a fight here is Illinois' offensive line might be neutralized against this tough Duke defensive front. But if Illinois comes in, hands the ball off, drives down the field and scores and silences that crowd, I might be looking to get in on Illinois live. I need to see if Illinois' offensive line is capable of winning the battles there against Duke's really strong defensive front. The crowd is on Illinois, Scoop. So you got the pick?
Dukies, baby.
Yeah,
Go crowd.
Yeah, Scoop in the crowd on Illinois. Mac on Duke. I'm on the under 49.
Cameron Crazies, baby.
Another game I added, and the reason I added it is because I have a bet in the game. I'm on over 51.5. Looks like we're at 52. I'm on the over here, and I just don't think this price is. Now, obviously, it's Saturday morning. The games are about to start, so I'm sure the market didn't miss anything. But Kennesaw State is running a fast-paced spread offense, and last week the final score of the game was 9-10 against Wake Forest. I mean, Kennesaw State could have had 20 points on the board early. They had a couple. They missed a field goal in their first 3 drives. They had 200 yards of offense, and it was 6-0 or something. So, I think this Kennesaw State offense is going to find the way to get the ball in the end zone a couple times. And keep in mind, this is Dexter Williams' revenge here. He was originally from Indiana. He was supposed to be the next guy up after Michael Penix. Rewind a few years, and then Penix transfers to Washington. So this is his return to Indiana. I think Dexter Williams is going to make some plays. That's the quarterback for Kennesaw. I think Kennesaw is able to put 14 on the board, and if they could put 14 on the board, we should get up and over 52. Give me the over. Scoop?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Indiana's going to win, but I 5 touchdowns is a lot. I'm taking Kennesaw. I mean, I think Indiana just kind of goes with what they did last week against Old Dominion, to just run the ball and just pretty much pound that line. And like you said, Kennesaw, I mean, they competed with Wake Forest, and they're, like you said, they're running fast. So, yeah, I mean, I like Kennesaw here. I mean, obviously Indiana's going to probably kill them, but yeah, I mean, I think they're just going to run the ball and lead the clock, and Kennesaw is capable of putting up points this year. So I like Kennesaw plus 5 touchdowns.
Mac?
I'm going to take Cincinnati here. They didn't cover last week. It's rare that they don't cover these big numbers in these bye games. Kennesaw back-to-back bye games on the road, back-to-back road spot. Cincinnati called out his team in the presser after the game. He wasn't very happy with the effort against ODU. I think Wake is pretty bad. I think it was more telling about Wake. I think Indiana blows the doors off them here. I'll lay the 35.5. I think that hook is baiting you to take the plus 35.5. So give me Cincinnati. Let's go. He knows the number.
I could see this being early fourth quarter, and it's 28-14, and Kennesaw plus 35.5 looks great. And then Indiana somehow still covers. They score 21 late points. I could see Cincinnati doing some shit like that. All right. Let's move on to the next game, and the next game is Baylor SMU. You guys know how I feel. Baylor's winning this game, man. Plus 2.5, don't care. I'm on Baylor. I think Mac's with me, right?
Yeah, I think 3 across the board here from Monday's show. Nothing has swayed me off this. I think they're going to be able to move the ball at will. I thought Baylor actually was pretty good in the Auburn game, outside of the run defense. I will say that. But, I mean, they moved the ball at will, almost 500 yards of offense. Robertson's and Savital's offense, they picked up where they left off. They just had 2 drives stall within the inside the 5-yard line. And if they didn't give up that kick return, I think they might have been able to come back and win that game. So, SMU, I think they have a lot of holes on that defense. I think we get a shootout here, but Baylor's got more dudes than SMU here. So give me the Bears to go into Dallas and win a battle of Texas here.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Baylor's offense looking explosive. They were making plays on Auburn. SMU's defense loses a ton of pieces from last year. Shouldn't even be close to the SMU defense we saw last year. And SMU's offense is good. Baylor's defense is a concern, but that SMU offensive line is not Auburn's. Auburn's offensive line might be a real problem this year, and with Jackson Arnold running the ball, I wouldn't be surprised if Auburn's offense makes a lot of defenses look the way Baylor's defense looked last week. So, yeah, I think the wrong team's favor. I probably have Baylor laying a point here on the road. I have them a decent-sized step up over SMU. I think they're the better team, so Baylor up.
Yeah, I love Baylor here. I think it's a bounce-back game. Knighton, Johnson, Smith all gone. I think they replaced them with worse running backs. I think SMU's not going to have the same season they did last year. Jennings lost some pieces. The ground game is going to make pretty much Jennings do more. And he did lose his 2 big receivers from last year. I think he's actually going to throw for more picks this year. And the defense just isn't really experienced. I mean, Baylor had a really tough job stopping the run against Auburn, but Auburn's stacked this year, like you said. Baylor does have a better defense than people think, especially in the secondary. I think they'll be able to stop Jennings for most of this game. Obviously, Jennings is going to make some plays, but it's not going to be like Auburn. The run defense will be there, and on the other side, it's not like Baylor's offense was really stopped last week. I mean, Robertson still had 400 yards passing. Run game wasn't there. I think it'll be here this game. Spavital and Aranda's going to dial up some more runs. Baylor's offense should take advantage of this SMU defense. So, and I mean, they allowed 250 yards passing to East Texas A&M. So I love the spot here for Baylor.
Crowd's on Baylor as well. And by the way, crowd was on Kennesaw in the last one, Scoop.
Uh-oh.
Some sharps.
Scoops with the crowd.
Yes.
I don't know if it's good or not.
Iowa State, Cyhawk. So I have a Iowa State money line at -126 and Iowa +3.5. So I have both of those. So I need Iowa State to win a 2019 football game here, which, if you're familiar with this series, is pretty on brand. But at the current number, pick for the show, give me the +3.5. It's not that I don't think Iowa State is 3.5 points better than Iowa. It's just this game, man. It's like, it's just no way one team's going to win running away. We just never see that. And also, I think Gronowski looks significantly better. I'm not sure how strong the Iowa State secondary is, so we'll see. But yeah, +3.5 because this game's always like that.
So, yeah, the road team won 5 straight in this matchup. I said it Monday. I'm not changing it now. I'm not trusting Iowa's offense until they have an offense. So I'm on the under. Until they throw the ball well, I can't do it. Iowa State's defense is obviously way better than Albany, especially their front seven. So while I believe Iowa can run the ball, I don't see them posting up 300 yards rushing or anything, obviously, like they did against Albany. Plus, I said it. I do believe Iowa got worse defensively, but Kirk Ferentz isn't gonna let Iowa State put up a ton of points. And this rivalry is always wild the last few years. Even the better team looks terrible going into this. So last time they played, Max said it on Monday, Iowa State kicked a field goal to hit the over, and that game was 20-19. But the last 6 games were, 39, 33, 17, 35, 16. It's going to be a defensive matchup. I love Beck, but this Iowa defense is still fresh. They didn't have to do really anything last week. And plus, they're more rested. They have no real travel. I feel like defense is going to win on both sides of the ball.
Mac, you're with me, right?
Yeah, I got to take the Cyclones, especially getting the hook here. This has been a road team series. What?
Oh, wait. Cyclones. You mean the Hawkeyes?
What'd I say?
You said the Cyclones.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, well, I think maybe Iowa State does win the game on a field goal once again. But like you said, I'm taking the Hawkeyes in the hook. Yeah, I like this series. It's always a shit show game here, back and forth. I do agree with Scoop on the under as well. But I think the stronger one I like is getting more than a field goal in this game. I think Iowa was very vanilla, even for Iowa standards last week offensively. But they just Ferentz knows Matt Campbell so well. This has been the one coach that Matt Campbell has really struggled against. So, yeah, give me the Hawkeyes. I think whoever has the ball last will win it on a field goal. It's going to come down to a field goal once again.
Yeah, someone asked Kyle, were you trying to middle it here? Sports scientist Jacob asked. Not really. The lines opened up and I saw minus 126 for Iowa State, and I was like, hell no, and bet it. And then like a couple days later, it moved to 3.5, and I just thought that was a little much for Iowa State game.
Yeah.
All right, next game up. Oh, by the way, the crowd is on Iowa plus 3.5. Okay, crowd is
I think if you're gonna bet something and you want to go against the crowd, just pick a total because no one knows totals. They'll just pick a side.
Yeah, well, I would imagine that the crowd's going to be on mostly sides. Virginia, NC State. I bet the over here. Look, I know that Virginia's defense looked great in the opener against Coastal, and they're actually healthier. There were some injury concerns with Virginia's defense coming into the season. They're a lot healthier than we thought. They're still not going to have that linebacker back, Cam Robinson, who's like one of their best defensive players. He's still not back. But everyone else is back on the Virginia defense, and they played great against Coastal. But I was looking at some stuff. Man, MJ Morris just might not. I don't think he played very well in that game for Coastal. He was only pressured on 14% of his dropbacks. I can promise you, if you only pressure CJ Bailey on 14% of his dropbacks, he's putting points up. I don't even really think this NC State team is very good. I don't think CJ Bailey has a ton of talent surrounding him on that offense, but he can play. I think NC State's able to move the ball on Virginia, and man, Chandler Morris is good, right? He's listed as probable, like he's playing. There's no update with that I missed this morning?
I haven't seen. I think he's playing. I think he's playing. I think the line, I mean, if he wasn't playing, I think the line would be closer to 5.5, 6, 6.5.
Right. I agree. So, yeah, if Chandler Morris is playing, NC State's defense hasn't shown us anything. I got over. Mac?
This is the what the hell game of the day because this is a non-con game. 2 ACC teams playing here. It's random. But I think we overreacted a little bit to the Virginia blowout against Coastal. Coastal's super banged up. I'm underwhelmed with Coastal's roster going into year 3 of Tim Beck. So I do like Tony Elliott's team this year, but if I'm going to get a field goal here with NC State at home in front of a really good environment, I thought Bailey was good last week. I think NC State has enough speed, firepower to pull away here. So I'm going to take the Wolfpack at a discount, I think, here at home, laying the 3.
Ooh, you're going to lay the 3. I haven't heard you talk about that game yet. All right.
Wolfpack.
Scoop?
Mac is wrong. I'm going with Virginia. They did what it pretty much did. I thought they were going to dominate, which they did. Chandler Morris had some solid throws, something Virginia fans aren't used to. Not only that, their defense was really solid. CJ Bailey did, they did well for last week. They're not much of a ground game. This one's, like Mac said, this one's a tough one, but I like this Virginia team a lot this year. Their front seven on NC State. I said would be better this year. They showed it last game. They held East Carolina to 30 yards on 29 carries. But, I mean, Jamari Taylor and Noah Vaughn will definitely not be shut down for that. They're going to have over 100 yards rushing this game. As much as NC State's D-line's better, they can be beat on the edges. This is Tony Elliott's best team in his 4 years. It's by far his best quarterback and O-line, front seven. I think they're going to make CJ Bailey be on the run because I think this D-line of Virginia is miles ahead of NC State's O-line. I wasn't sure about the cornerbacks Virginia going into the season. Still don't, but I love the safeties that are here. And with Daniels on the run most of the game, I think the safeties will be able to get some of the balls up top. So I see 2 picks for CJ here. 2 picks for CJ here. I feel like Virginia wins this game easily.
For the record, I would definitely be more on Mac's side than Scoop's side, but I get regularly accused of being a CJ Bailey apologist. Every time I talk about NC State, everyone's like, this dude loves CJ Bailey. I don't know. I think he's crazy talented. I'm not big on the NC State team, but I think CJ Bailey is very good. Let's talk Drinkall. Mac, do you have any words about Drinkall?
I'm pulling for him today, baby. I'm all about the chips when they're playing that team up north, that filthy 4-letter word on the screen right there. You know what, man? I'll take the look-ahead spot. I'll take the chips here. I don't like the spot. I mean, they just played in San Jose. One is a double-digit 2-touchdown underdog outright. Pitt looked good offensively. I know they were playing Duquesne, but they have the brawl on deck. I mean, anybody that knows that rivalry knows how much it means to both fan bases. Getting north of 3 touchdowns, I'll take the chips. Plus 22. Plus, these MAC teams are covering left and right with these big numbers. Northern Illinois covering last night. It feels like the MAC covers every game as a dog.
The way Central Michigan plays with Drinkall, or is going to play this year under Drinkall, is going to make it tough to cover big numbers, like super slow, staying on the field. That's kind of what they did. The offense wasn't really working that well against San Jose State, but they were able to stay on the field and sustain some drives. To me, this one is tough because there's just such different styles. Cade Bell wants to run fast, wants to score a bunch of points, and Central Michigan with Drinkall is going to want to do the exact opposite. So I'm putting Pitt up. I think this is a nightmare matchup for Central Michigan. Pitt's defensive front should be very strong. I don't think this Pittsburgh defense is going to get run on much this year, especially at home. So I think this is a particularly tough matchup, but I'm not dying to bet this one. Give me Pitt for the show.
Yeah, Central Michigan showed out defensively against San Jose State. They probably should have lost with those 2 missed field goals at the end, but holding the San Jose State to 14 points is great. I'm going under here for this game again. Central Michigan's defense is going to be awesome throughout the year. They have huge defensive linemen. Their linebackers are pretty stacked in terms of max standards, and their secondary is definitely solid. And with Drinkall in, I mean, this defense I feel like is going to be even better than it was last year. It's their offense. Obviously, I can't rely on. Their offense last year was one of the worst in the country. Their quarterbacks last week, Flores threw for 59 yards, Labas with 56. I don't know if there's going to be a passing game again this year. Central Michigan's going to run the ball a lot. 50 rushing yards. 50 rushing attempts last week. 13 passing attempts. So, and the thing is, like Kyle said, I don't think they can run on Pitt. I mean, the front seven of Pitt, I was high on before the season, but five of their 7 from last year returned. They got good transfers. I know it was Duquesne, but they held them to 37 yards rushing last week. It's just hard to see Central Michigan doing anything offensively, but I think they can make enough stops defensively to stay in this game. It should be an under. I feel like this is kind of like a 24-7 type of game.
Let's move on to the next one. Are you tracking the crowd's picks, Scoop?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Central Michigan won that one for the crowd. UConn Syracuse. UConn was a very popular pick early. Was sitting down at 6.5 for a lot of the week. I think it's back up at 7 now, so it looks like some late Syracuse money came in. I would be on the orange here. Obviously, I would have preferred the 6.5. But yeah, give me Syracuse -7. -7. I think Jeff Nixon's a great offensive coordinator blossoming in front of us. I was actually impressed with what they did at Tennessee. Yeah, look, they gave up a couple huge plays, and obviously they didn't even cover the +14, but they easily could have. In fact, they probably should have. They had the ball there for like 3rd and goal in the 4 at the end there for the cover. But, man, to go out, they were in Mercedes-Benz, not a true road game, but to go into Mercedes-Benz against that Tennessee defense, and he was under pressure. Angeli was under pressure. They were still making plays. Nixon was still scheming stuff up that was working. I was really impressed by Syracuse offense. They lost everybody from last year, and they were making plays, moving the ball against Tennessee. And I know UConn's defense was elite last year, but they lost almost everybody. So even though the UConn program is on the come up, I think the defense takes a step back this year. So I think Syracuse is going to be able to move the ball pretty easily in this game. Do I trust the Syracuse defense? No, but UConn's offense is certainly not Tennessee's offense. So yeah, I think Syracuse puts up a big number here. Mac?
Kyle hates UConn this year. He's like a UConn hater, man. And he's an alumni. It's crazy.
First off, that Tennessee offense looked pretty good last week with Mr. Aguilar under center.
Couple lucky plays.
Hey, I am with you here. I'm going to lay with Syracuse and a bounce back in the dome here. I'll co-sign pretty much everything you said. They kind of got hit in the mouth by Tennessee. They went up 24-7 off the blink of an eye. And the game, yes, was in Atlanta. That game might as well have been in Knoxville. That was a 95-5 Tennessee crowd. That was a true road game. But 400 yards against Tennessee's defense with all that returning production. I thought Angeli was good. I like UConn this year, but I think that this is a tough spot. UConn almost did upset them last year, so I think Syracuse is ready to go, dialed in here. I'll lay the 7. I agree with the late steam here on the Cuse.
Scoop, you with us?
I love this UConn team. I'm not taking them over Syracuse. I'm on the over. Angeli did okay against Tennessee. Hardly go against Tennessee in Atlanta the first week. But I mean, coming home to play UConn should be easy, right? I mean, not so fast, my friend. Rest in peace, Lee Corso.
Still alive.
Yeah, he's not dead.
Oh yeah, he is. He's alive. I think
tired.
UConn. Listen, I think UConn's pretty stacked this year. Fagnano's back from last year. He really took over for Evers, who also played last week in mop up. I mean, these running backs are going to go over 2,000 yards again. With Edwards, Brown, and Flowers. I think Syracuse is going to have the same problem they did against Tennessee, which is stopping the run. These running backs, I think, are on par with Tennessee's. They're going to shred the Syracuse defense. Before the end of the year, UConn's going to have a top 30 offense. That's really what I think. On the other side, I mean, Syracuse put up 26 against a tough Tennessee defense. And UConn's defense, like Kyle said, is not good. I mean, its front seven's going to struggle all year getting to the quarterback. And Jelly's going to have time to throw the ball. I kind of like UConn secondary, but I mean, Yasin Willis, Will Nixon will definitely have room to run on his UConn, front seven. And Tennessee's run defense is 3 times the run defense of UConn. So I feel like this game's going to go into the 70s when this is gone. Both defenses are bad. Syracuse has no secondary depth. If I was taking a side, I'd take UConn but I can't trust a defense against a strong offense. I feel like maybe you take UConn against the next 2 games like Delaware and Ball State, but yeah, not here.
Someone asked, said, isn't Syracuse injured? They do have a DB listed as questionable. Devin Grant, who is a starter. So they do have one DB, but from what I'm seeing, it's not a substantial. It's just one DB. Liberty, Jacksonville State. This is down to 6 now. What the hell is going on? Who is betting Jacksonville State?
I think everybody liked what they saw from them against UCF.
UCF has just FCS starters across the board.
Yeah, and I'm on Liberty here. I'm going to buy the dip, I guess is what we'll call it. I thought Liberty was super vanilla in their week 1 game. Vasco first game back with Chadwell here. But, I mean, they opened it up in the second half. They, for whatever reason, they went through the motions in the first half. I think it's an overreaction to a new Jack State team against a new UCF team. Crazy game, just like that Kennesaw Wake game. But I think Liberty opens up the playbook and pulls away and wins by double digits. I think these two teams are on different levels. This is a number if Rich Rod was still coaching Jack State.
Yeah, agreed. I think these two teams are 2 touchdowns apart, honestly. I don't really understand. When I grabbed the -5.5 early in the week, I was like, oh, this is going to close at 10. Like, I don't know. There's people betting Jacksonville State. I don't really understand it. Yeah, Liberty in a blowout. Mac, I swear to God, if Liberty loses this game and you don't criticize Chadwell, like, I'm done, bro. Dude, Mac will never criticize Jamie Chadwell, ever.
Jamie Chadwell's my guy, man. Let's go.
I can tell. Scoop?
Yeah, I don't know how you put any faith into this Liberty team. They haven't looked good since 2023. I mean, until the fourth quarter, I thought Maine would put it away. Liberty basically closed it out from converting third down, something, Maine couldn't do. They didn't really have any run game. Vasco was their leading rusher. So I'm not sure what to take away from that game. There's absolutely no fucking way I could take Jacksonville State. I mean, I know Jacksonville State, plus 20 against UCF. I had that, but that offense is miserable. I mean, you can't trust Gavin Winsett, Rutgers alum. Cam Cook can only do so much with a bad offensive line. UCF made the smart play in benching Fancher last game. I know Liberty has looked awful, but I don't see how you bet against them, under a touchdown to Jacksonville State. I get this is a conference game. I get that Jacksonville State beat Liberty by 10 last year at Liberty. But I mean, Vasco has experience. This offense should run. Liberty's defense is better than UCF's. I'm not high on Liberty in general. I think this is definitely a step back year, but I don't think they win Conference USA. This is about an 8-win team. But there's no way I'm taking Jacksonville State getting under a touchdown. So
yeah, keep in mind, last week against Maine, final score was 28-7 Liberty. Maine had one 77-yard touchdown run. That's it. They had one long run. They didn't do anything in that game against Liberty's defense. Next up, Rutgers Miami of Ohio. I forgot to fill in the total. Sorry about that. The total for this game is...
I don't see who won that last.
It's 45, it looks like. So sorry about that. The screen's messed up. But the reason I am bringing up the total, because I think I would go over here. It seems... I know it's a little bit early in the season, but I think... Rutgers' identity is kind of unfolding. I think this offense is going to be strong. They looked really strong against Ohio in the opener. And I think that's Scoop the Scarlet Knight. I think that's a reflection of what this Rutgers offense is. They bring back almost everybody. Kyle McManus taking a step forward. I think this Rutgers offense is going to move the ball despite Miami of Ohio's defense being tougher. The reason that I can't back Rutgers is the defense, man. Back-to-back years, Rutgers loses a key defensive piece as the season's starting. Doug Blue Eli, the defensive tackle they brought in through the portal, out for the year. Scarlet Knights, man. Scoop, talk about the Scarlet Knights. I'm on over.
Yeah, that Rutgers game was troublesome. Taking on the depleted Ohio team. One thing I should have expected is Parker Navarro is going to be awesome again. The thing with Rutgers is they did lose their defensive coaches. Maybe that was a factor, but I haven't really seen a Rutgers team get lit up lately by a MAC team. In the past, sure, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't great. Rutgers' offensive explosion, though, that was something. I should have stayed a pessimistic Rutgers fan and chose Ohio. I'm going to reluctantly take Rutgers again. Miami, Ohio is a shell of itself, really. DeQuan Finn did not look like Toledo Finn. It looked like more like Baylor Finn. They had no run game at all. They couldn't pass the ball. Their offensive line was miserable. I know I said Wisconsin's defense is stacked. I still believe that. We'll see. But Rutgers has to take advantage of this team. I mean, Rutgers needs to keep running the ball this game. Miami's run defense is not good. Rutgers offense should do more than Wisconsin did, I feel like. It's Schiano's best offense since he's been back. The issue with Rutgers secondary, like you just said, a lot of pieces came in. They may need some time to work together, to gel together. On paper, they're good, but this isn't all new secondary. But the way Finn and that offense would look, there's no way I could take them on the road. Pandemonium Piscataway. I feel like Rutgers wins this game by a couple touchdowns.
This is a bad pick, dude. Rutgers can't stop anybody. The Finn's going to look like Lamar Jackson.
No, he's not. No way.
Finn's going to carve. Rutgers defense is bad, dude. They lost their guy in the
one game. All right, I know they look bad, but Parker Navarro is 8 times the quarterback of DeQuan Finn.
So, are you drinking the Scarlet Knight Kool-Aid right now in front of our eyes?
I am drinking, but it's water.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid with my man Schiano, baby, the Golden Guido. Hey, he called out his team defensively in the postgame. I like that. And I agree with Scoop. Navarro is pretty damn good compared to Finn, who's kind of a shell of himself a little bit. Back-to-back bye game, road spot for Miami of Ohio. Chuck Martin, I feel like in this spot traditionally also, not mails it in, but if they start getting beat, he kind of gets vanilla and he just moves on to MAC play because that's all that matters for Miami of Ohio. I think Rutgers bounces back here after a disappointing opener where they almost got picked off. I think I was impressed with Rutgers offensively. The Greek Freak at the quarterback position, I thought he moved the ball. I think Rutgers is going to move the ball on him. So, yeah, I'll lay the 14.5. I
agree with that. I disagree with the other side. I think DeQuan Finn's going to look like Toledo DeQuan Finn in this game.
We'll see. I was underwhelmed in that Wisconsin game.
Yeah, Wisconsin's defense is miles better than Rutgers' defense this year. Wisconsin's defense might be strong. We kind of forgot about it because Fickle just did whatever the last couple of years, but they've got a lot. They've got talent on that defense. I think Wisconsin's defense is going to be like miles ahead of Rutgers' defense. But I think Rutgers' offense is stronger than Wisconsin's offense. Ole Miss, Kentucky. Go ahead, Mac. I know you're on the Cats.
Oh, yeah, baby. Stoops against Lane Kiffin, for whatever reason, has had his number. I think it's just defensively they've been kind of a tough matchup for him. You go back and look at all these good Ole Miss teams. It's always a one-possession game when these two queue up. I know Calzada is a tough guy to trust here. He threw for 75 yards last week. But I think Kentucky's able to run the ball at Ole Miss. It rushed for 200 yards on a good Toledo defense last week. And Ole Miss, I'm going to keep fading these young quarterbacks in their first road start. This is Simmons' first road start at Kentucky. That place is going to be on fire to get another shot at Ole Miss. Last week, Arch lost, Simmons lost for Alabama, and then Carr for Notre Dame. I think the Rebels are on upset alert here. I'll take the points with Stoops against Lane Kiffin once again. Go Big Blue.
What do you think, Scoop?
First, I agree with Dylan. We should do an Andy's dog walk of the day at the end of the show every week.
That'd be cool.
It would be. I'm with the dog. I'm with the home dog here. Ole Miss had their fun against Georgia State. Kentucky's defense is not Georgia State. I love Kentucky's secondary. I think Simmons is going to struggle here. I think Kentucky gets into the backfield. I do like their new pieces on this Kentucky line. Ole Miss's line wasn't exactly the best last year. They're giving up 29 sacks. I don't think their new pieces are much better. Plus, Kentucky's secondary, even though they lost Harrison, is really strong. They held what should be a top MAC offense at 2 points up until the fourth. I mean, obviously, it's not the offense. They got a safety. But obviously, Ole Miss's offense is a different animal. They pretty much beat up, I think Max said it on Monday, like little sisters of the poor kind of teams, like Georgia State, when they'll play Citadel later this year, and that's going to be obviously going to kill them. But, first road start for Simmons on the road, SEC game. Kentucky beat them last year at Ole Miss. Kentucky isn't the easiest place to play. I know Lane Kiffin will want his revenge, national audience, but I don't know. I like Kentucky. On the other side, I think Dowdle's going to find space here. Georgia State put up 5.5 yards per carry at 191 yards. I really don't like this Ole Miss front seven. I think they'll be taking advantage all year on the ground. So I think Kentucky's going to put this on the ground a lot. I don't see Calzada lighting up Ole Miss's secondary, obviously, but I'm going to take the home dog here in Kentucky.
As far as the side, I would agree. I think the under is in trying to have the best record on the show. It would be the under, but as in having fun, I want to take Kentucky too. Give me the under. I'm trying to win this shit.
If you want to have real fun, take that Kentucky money line, baby.
Oh yeah. That's real fun.
Dog walk of the day.
But I mean, Calzada, dude, he looked. I agree with you. Austin Simmons struggled. He threw a couple of picks. His numbers under pressure were terrible in the opener. It was only like 9 dropbacks, so who cares? But I agree. Austin Simmons is going to struggle here, and Kentucky's defense is better than they're getting credit for. But Calzada, whoa. So I don't know. Give me the under.
You don't trust the incarnate word quarterback?
It's not about incarnate word. It's about Calzada.
Hey, IDub's been good. Mateer and Cam Ward, first pick of the draft. Yeah, so Calzada's saving it. This is his breakout.
Wasn't there a guy before those two, too? Wasn't that the one?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I think there was a third one.
Shout out to IDub.
Kansas, Missouri. I know Max on the Jayhawks with his Big 12 bias.
Oh, yeah. Always taking my Big 12. Hey, man, this is a Big 12 rivalry. The border war, this place is going to be on fire. I mean, it's been chippy in the press conferences all week. I mean, the fan bases absolutely hate each other. I just think I'm getting the better quarterback here. Jalen Daniels back in that Colton Icky offense is much more comfortable. And you know what? I've been impressed with Kansas' defense. At Fresno, I know it was game 1, but they weren't able to get the ground attack going. And then the next week, they ran for, 400, 300 yards against Georgia Southern. So I think Kansas, better quarterback, better coach. I'll take the dog in the points. I think this is a field goal game either way that comes down the wire. Hope Kansas wins.
Scoop, what do you think? I kind of disagree with that.
I just don't really know what Kansas is. I mean, like I said, they played Fresno and Wagner. That was great. I mean, Missouri, they played no one too. I think Pribula is going to be good this year. I literally don't know. I know Ahmad Hardy's a monster as running back, but I mean, look, he had 10 attempts last week too. I do like Kansas' front seven. They held Wagner to 40 yards rushing, Fresno to 40, pretty much to both. I mean, if they shut down Hardy, Marquise Davis, I think Kansas possibly wins this game. But I'm taking Missouri. I mean, Jalen Daniels looked good this year. I mean, it's been Wagner and Fresno. Missouri giving less than a touchdown, I feel this is a good bet. Kansas going into the season, I really didn't think much of. I thought their offense was depleted, losing their top 9 receivers. And while I do like Kansas' front seven, Missouri's running backs are completely a new ballgame compared to who they faced so far this year. This Missouri team's fresh. They just had a warm-up game against Central Arkansas. Pribula got a game under his belt. I think they'll be able to throw against a questionable Kansas secondary, something that they really haven't been tested with yet. So I feel like this whole Kansas defense hasn't really been tested yet. Plus, this is their first away game this year. They were comfortable twice at home. I think I have to take Missouri. Definitely a test for both of them, though, so far, though, because I don't know what these two teams are going to be yet.
Yeah, agree with Scoop, Missouri. I think if you take the quarterbacks out of this game, that Missouri's 10+ points better than Kansas. Obviously, Jalen Daniels, you would think is a big step up from Pribula, but outside of that, Missouri's team is much stronger. I don't trust this Kansas defense at all. I think they're going to be missing both inside linebackers again. Kamara and Joseph Sipp. Joseph Sipp hasn't even played yet this year. Kamara's going to miss a couple more weeks. Coming into the season, I was really questionable about Kansas secondary. They haven't been tested at all. Honestly, I think if they played Fresno again, it would look a lot different. They got Fresno in that opener, the first game in the new system. So I don't even think that game is really indicative. I think Fresno would play them tougher if they met again later in the season. So, yeah, Missouri, but I'm too scared to actually do it. Next up.
It's a close poll.
Speaking of Fresno, Scoop, you like them in Oregon State, in Corvallis?
Well, I mean, I picked both of these teams last week. Fresno really solid. Oregon State was gross. I really don't know what's wrong with Oregon State. Sagabatelli lit up this Oregon State in Corvallis. Corvallis is a myth now. It's gone the way of legends. Fresno has 2 completely different games. Until that second half, Fresno looked like the bad Fresno team. I'm still not trusting EJ Warner. I don't like him. Another 2 bad interceptions. They didn't win that game through the year. They won it with the 350 on the ground. Something Oregon State, though, can do is stop the run. I mean, Cal only had 3.8 yards per carry last game. Their front seven's good. They only lost Saluni from last year on the D-line. I do like their linebackers, even though they lost Chisholm and Jordan. And Oregon State, I mean, the problem with their defense is their secondary. That's the concerning part of their defense. But I'm really not concerned with E.J. Warner throwing the ball. I'm just not. And Malik Murphy should have a better second game here than he did this first go-round. He's better than what he showed last game. I'm on Oregon State. I wouldn't be surprised with an under in this game at all either. Both teams may struggle to run the ball. Oregon State's, was battling a new O-line in the first place. They had no run game against Cal, but I like Malik Murphy. I think he has a bounce back game here. I'm trusting in Oregon State, which is wild, but yeah, I like him. I like him here. I think they're gonna win.
What do you think, Mac?
I got to play Oregon State here. They need this game like blood. They have at Texas Tech and at Oregon on deck. So, I mean, losing the opener, you're staring 0-4 in the face if you don't find a way to get this Fresno game. Last week, they kind of got hit in the mouth. But after that, I felt like they kind of settled into the game. And they just, for whatever reason, fell down 17-0 and then just could never crawl out of that hole. They don't really have an explosive offense. I think they stay on schedule this game. I think they load the box, dare Fresno to beat them through the air. I don't think they're going to lose back-to-back weeks in toss-up games at home in Corvallis. So I'll take the desperation spot. They need this game like blood.
Agreed. Oregon State for me. If this is a night game, I'd be on this. I think Corvallis has one last dance in them. But yeah, the reason I don't have the bet is because it's a day game. I like playing the Corvallis night games better energy in there. And Fresno has shown us two such extreme data points that I still feel like I don't know who the hell they are. They looked like absolute death when I bet them plus 14 against Kansas, and then they came out and just absolutely smoked Georgia Southern and ran it up. Georgia Southern might be bad though, but so we'll see. Clay might not be Clay Helton's year. Blowout alert. One of my favorite bets of the day. Cincinnati.
One of my favorite bets of the day too.
Yeah, is this the dog walk of the day?
I think so, dude. This Bowling Green might be terrible.
And Cincinnati's lost 6 games as a program in a row. I mean, talk about a game to just get all your frustrations out and just blow somebody out, run the score up. Cincinnati by 30 plus. I think we're aligned here.
Yeah, what's it at now? 23.5. I'd still bet it, honestly. I got this
20.5. Now it's up to 23.5. I mean, like Sorsby did nothing against Nebraska since he could have won that game, but Nebraska I feel like just wore the defense down enough for that. Put some Cincy's defense, put some respect on it, Kyle. You talk shit. They're gonna be good this year. They're gonna be great.
They're gonna be great.
I got laughed at by Kyle. I got ridiculed. It's unbelievable. This defense is going to be good. Just wait and see.
It really affected you.
I actually went to bed and I was sad when you said that. I think Cincinnati absolutely, like you just said, rolls Bowling Green here. This is going to be a 30-plus win. I would not be surprised a 40-7 type of game. Bowling Green is not good. I mean, 43 carries last week against Lafayette, 3.7 yards per carry. Drew Pines at 109 yards passing to Lafayette. I mean, this is a Lafayette team that finished 6-6 last year and got shut down by Georgetown. So, I mean, Bowling Green had a nice 2024, but Eddie George is in for a long season if this offense doesn't do much. Eddie George, when he was at Tennessee State, just wanted to run the ball a ton. He showed he's still going to do that, but I don't know how effectively he is actually going to do that. Since he has a great front seven, going to shut down his run game. And Sorsby didn't have a good week one. This Bowling Green defense, it's an FCS defense. I mean, they have 2 returning starters. The rest are filled with Tennessee State players, Illinois State, Western Carolina. And plus, this is all with a brand new scheme that Brandon Fisher and that coaching staff installed. So they're going to have time. They're going to need time to gel too. So I love Cincy here. I think both sides of the ball are going to absolutely destroy Bowling Green. So yeah, this is a dog walk of the day.
Someone said disrespecting Eddie George. No, I mean disrespecting them this year. Took them a few years at Tennessee State.
Year one. We love Eddie George. Year one though.
Yeah, that Bowling Green defense was excellent last year. They're all gone, and it's a new coach. It's a shell of last year's team. Plus that tight end that had 500,000 yards last year, he's gone as well. Fannin. So the whole Bowling Green team is gone, and it's a brand new coaching staff. Here's one where I'm hoping we don't get bit by the injury report. So when I grabbed this one, for those of you listening, it's we're talking about Texas State UTSA, and I grabbed UTSA early at -3.5, thinking nailed this one. So apparently, I'm reading UTSA has some real concerns on the defense. Their linebacker Cam Cooper ruled out for the season. There's a couple members of the secondary that status is unclear. They were injured in that Texas A&M game. I don't know if it's just smoke screens. There's some injury report bullshit going on. I don't. UTSA may be missing 3 or 4 starters from the defense. Maybe it's a bunch of nothing. I don't know. I am on UTSA. I think their offense can score on literally every possession. So UTSA minus 4.5. But I'm a little worried about the defense if there's going to be pieces missing.
Yeah, I took UTSA at 3.5 too. UTSA had 203 yards rushing against A&M. Texas State's defense is just not good. I feel like it's broken all these years. Even in those games last year when they went 8-5. I mean, if you look, they gave up 40 to Sam Houston, 38 to South Alabama, 27 to Lamar. And I said it earlier on Monday, Texas State played Eastern Michigan. That defense gave up 52. But overall, I mean, Texas State's offense is going to take a step back here with McLeod, Mahdi, their 3 linemen, all their receivers gone. I feel like UTSA, like we talked about Monday, it's a different animal in the Alamo Dome. They were 6-0 last year at home. Their offense clicked something crazy there. They averaged 150 yards more at home. And Texas State, like I said, their defense is not going to hold up here. Besides Alexander Landy on the D-line, I mean, everyone else played less than 7% of their snaps last year. Their linebackers before last game had no starting experience. They lost 4 of their 7 top DBs. It's not a great defense. UTSA should be able to throw. I think they'll put up 40 this game. I mean, they just put up 24 against A&M. Owen McCown's going to have room to breathe in this one. He's going to have a way better game here. The run game should have its way. I wouldn't be surprised with 350 yards on the ground. I mean, the books had this at 66.5, 67 earlier in the week. I mean, you can tell how this game's going to be, but I like UTSA on both sides of the ball better, so I'm going to take them here.
You with us, Mac?
Yeah, Battle of I-35. This is an underrated rivalry at the G5 level, and I talked about it on the Monday show. Texas State ran it up on them last year. They beat the shit out of them 49-10, and they were not quiet about it. UTSA, I love Traylor as a coach. I think he's going to be a Power 4 coach here in the next year or so. I loved what I saw from them offensively in that A&M game. That's a hard place to go into, and they rushed for 200 yards on an Elko defense, and I thought McCown's good. Yeah, I know they're banged up defensively, but I just think on that turf in the Alamo Dome, that offense is going to go, and the total reflects that. So, yeah, give me something like a 45-35 UTSA type win. I think this is going to be a track meet, but UTSA's got more firepower.
Agreed. I love that UTSA offense. Man, they were. I mean, Luke McCown was handling Texas A&M's pass rush. Like they were getting through, and he was like sidestepping a tackle and making a throw. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah,
it's the McCown name, obviously.
It's clearly the McCown name. Just a great lineage. North Texas minus 10, Western Michigan. Look, I think this. I get it. Skylar Cassidy is now the defensive coordinator at North Texas, and they're very excited about it. If you aren't familiar with North Texas football, last couple years with Eric Morris, pretty clear identity. Score 1 billion points, make 0 stops. That last 2 years, I'm pretty sure they've been a bottom 10 defense and a top 10 offense the last 2 years. I'm pretty sure. If not, it's close. So that's been the identity for Texas, North Texas the last couple of years. They bring in Skylar Cassidy to coach the defense. They're very excited about that. They also have a talented defense. In the very first game, they pitch a shutout. So, wow, as I'm saying this, they just got hit with North Texas money. It's now up to 10.5, 11.5 at Circa. North Texas is getting nuked as we're talking. Literally, it's lighting up at my screen. North Texas is getting nuked. What do you think, Mac? Are you buying Skylar Cassidy in this defense?
I am. I thought he was good at Sam Houston, and that's why they were good last year. But Chandler Morris as a coach, Eric Morris as a coach, I'm not at the point where I'm ready to trust him as a double-digit road favorite, especially up there in Michigan. Western Michigan, they're chippy at home in Kalamazoo here. I thought they were okay in the second half against Michigan State. So I'll take the points. What are we calling this at, 10?
Yeah. For the show, we have 10, but you can get better than that.
I'll still take the points. Like I said, Eric Morris in North Texas, I know they got a lot of hype. Offensively, they're explosive. It feels like they got things figured out defensively, but they played Lamar last week, so I'm not going to overreact too much yet. I need to see it one more week. Give me the points.
I completely agree with every single word, and maybe there's a bright future for North Texas defense, but I'm going to need to see more than one game against Lamar to make me forget all the 60-point games they've let up the last couple of years. Western Michigan looked really bad, but in the opener, by the way, the defense actually played okay against Michigan State. The offense looked terrible. They didn't score a single point. They scored 6 points off a late pick six. They didn't do shit. last week offensively. But I think Brock Lowry can use his legs. They're using like a dual quarterback system there. I think they can sustain some drives and at least slow the game down a little bit. So, yeah, it would be Western Michigan only for me. Scoop?
Yeah, I know Mac likes when you talk about CLV. I got the under 59.5. So I got 4 points of CLV. I'm on the under. Even I guess I would still take under 55.5. I mean, Western Michigan, it's just hard to see what offense they're going to have. I also don't know really who's starting at quarterback. They ran out Brady James and Brock Lowry last week. They're two different styles. Lowry's a dual threat. Either one couldn't really get the offense going. Lowry may give this team a better chance to win with the skill style they have in the game they want to play. Western Michigan with Lance Taylor is going to run the ball. It's going to run it a lot. The defense, though, held up better than I thought they would. I had questions about the new pieces to the front seven, but for the most part, they held their own against Childs. Childs played okay, but they kept everyone in front of them, which was their game plan. That offense, though, man, it's just kind of hard to see what it's going to be. And North Texas is North Texas, even without Chandler Morris. Messmaker played awesome, 3 touchdowns through the air, but like you just guys said, it was Lamar. I like the under here, 55.5. With a team who I have issues with scoring 10 points offensively, I just don't see it. Western Michigan has a great defense. Skylar Cassie is a new DC for North Texas, brought in a bunch of former players. I feel like this defense is going to be better than other North Texas teams. I think this total is way too high, even at 55.5 is worse than I wanted. But I took the under 59.5. I still think this goes under.
All right, let's move on to the next one. I agree with you on an under, by the way. The next game is. Here we go. Mac, your boys handling business today?
This is how you know I'm a savvy vet. As soon as Ohio was going head-to-head with Rutgers, I went ahead and tweeted out, I'm scared to death of this game next week. And everybody ran with the narrative. Mountaineers are on upset alert. Rich Rod saying, I'm tired of hearing about Ohio. I put that out there, and everybody ran with it. Mountaineers get it done today. Love the rushing attack. No look-ahead spot. Rich Rod's coach, and we're ready for Pitt next week. Handle business in Ohio. And there's going to be more Mountaineer fans than I think people realize. It'll be a 50-50 game because these schools are separated by about 2.5 hours. So,
really? They're that close?
Yeah. The Mountaineer fans bought Ohio Bobcat season tickets. Mountaineer fans are crazy. So, give me my ears. Let's go, Rich Rod. You're welcome.
They bought season tickets. Scoop, what do you think?
I mean, what are we doing with West Virginia here, Mac? That first week was brutal. Did you guys work out the
fumbles.
Kings now in the second half? I mean,
those fumbles were brutal, man.
You're only giving 3 to Parker at home. I mean, I'm just not sure how much I trust West Virginia. Their O-line's young. They're wideouts are due. So I wasn't sure about West Virginia's offense. I like the defense a lot more than their offense this year, actually. I mean, their front seven's decent. Their secondary's good, and Parker, he can make some plays. I kind of see the same situation with West Virginia again. They kind of start off slow. Rich Rod makes some adjustments to their offense, and the defense plays a solid game. I like West Virginia. Ohio's going to have a bit of a harder time moving the ball than it did against Rutgers. I feel like even though Ohio's at home, like Max said, it's pretty close. West Virginia is going to have a ton of fans there. I know you have to be careful with a kind of look-ahead spot. I know Mac who's on deck. He knows who's on deck with the backyard brawl there. But I like Rich Rod. He's a great coach. Makes adjustments better than other coaches out there. Certainly more than Greg Schiano because he's garbage. But I think West Virginia pulls this one out late, maybe wins by 10. So I'm on the Mountaineers here.
It's over. Rich Rod is going to score in Ohio's defense. Ohio's defense lost everybody. We saw how bad they looked against Rutgers last week, and I'm sure back home they look better. But I trust West Virginia can move the ball in this game. But on the other side, Parker Navarro, dude, that is like a Andrew Luck, Aaron Rodgers hybrid. Like that dude is unstoppable. I don't know where it came from. He sucked in the beginning of last year. He literally got benched in the beginning of last year, gets his starting job back, and he's literally the best player in the conference. Just I don't know what happened or how, but you can't stop this guy. West Virginia's defense, I'm pretty sure, was record-breakingly bad last year, and there's no way I'm just all of a sudden believing this is a good defense. Over. Where are the stops coming from? Give me that over.
Ohio, fake sharp play of the day. That's the term. Let's go.
Fake sharp play of the day.
Okay, Toast.
I will say at a 3, I would agree at West Virginia. Yeah. South Florida. I don't know. Go ahead, Mac. I know what you're on. I heard you talk about it. You're laying.
Yeah, I them beating Boise the way that they beat them has Florida's attention here. And Napier teams have messed with Heupel's offensive teams, and Galesh coming from the Heupel tree here. I just think this Florida defense is going to really be able to get after this South Florida timing offense. And I just think Lagway and company, I think South Florida is going to have trouble stopping them here. I think that this is a beatdown in the swamp here. 3+ touchdowns. I'll lay it with the Gators here. It feels like a public dog after that Boise game. I
think you might be right. And I agree with half of what you said. I think this is going to be a long ass afternoon for Byron Brown. I look, first of all, I think there's a misconception, but I just want to be clear. I was gassing up South Florida all summer, not about the Boise game, just about the season. I picked South Florida in the game. So, I'm not a South Florida hater or anything. I've been gassing them up. But I think there's a misconception of what happened in that opening game. Dude, Boise State fumbled the ball 3 times and turned the ball over on downs 3 times in South Florida territory. I mean, guys, that was not a 34-7 game. South Florida deserved the win, and they deserve credit. They played well. The offense had a 34% success rate. They weren't fluently moving the ball up and down the field on Boise at all. In fact, there were times where the offense looked pretty bad, and there were times when you're watching that game like, ooh, Byron Brown. It didn't look all that great. Now they're going to go into the swamp. The Gators defense is good. This is a really strong team. The only reason this Florida team isn't getting more hype is their schedule is a nightmare. But this is a very, very good team. The part where I'll push back, and I've been defending this guy all offseason. Todd Orlando's a hell of a defensive coordinator, and no one's giving this guy credit. Everyone's talking about South Florida defense like they're terrible. They came out, they played great with some big 4th down stops against Boise. I think South Florida's defense is way better than people realize, so I'll go under. I honestly want to bet this. I didn't bet it, but how is this 57.5? South Florida's defense is strong. Held Boise to 7. Yeah, I'm betting this right now, actually. Go ahead, Scoop.
So, really quick, Byron Brown is not suspended, so please stop saying
it's
that.
fake news.
Everyone, it's fake news. So that's not happening. South Florida, Golish is having his team play hard. I don't think they can do it again either. 18 points in Gainesville is rough. South Florida's defense did look good, but Florida's offense is so much more of a complete offense. And what did Lagway play, a half? I'm taking them. I love this South Florida team. I love that it demolished Boise. That was great, even though I took Boise. But this Florida team, offensively and defensively, is a way better team. This is not a knock, like Kyle said, on South Florida at all. I love Brown back at quarterback. He did enough in that Boise game to win. Well, the defense did most of the work. But Todd Orlando has made this defense awesome, played well down the stretch last year, carried it over to this year. But Florida is one of my favorites to win the SEC this year, as long as Lagway's healthy. Lagway's 7-1 as a starter now. Jaden Ball looked great in the backfield. It's Napier's best line he's had. If this team stays healthy offensively, they can definitely compete for an SEC title. Same for their defense. Their secondary last year was injured all over the place. So if these starters stay upright this year, Florida's going to it's just going to be a monster team. And I say that because I don't really like the depth of Florida's defense. So if they get hurt again, they'll have some problems down the road. But for this game, with everyone fully healthy and the starters playing limited time, it's their home opener. I feel like they should win this game by more than 3 touchdowns.
I don't necessarily disagree. I think South Florida is capable of making a couple stops in this game. Final score, 38-10.
I'll take it.
That's fine.
Yeah, I would lean towards Florida as well, unfortunately. 38-10 final score. Yeah, I can't believe you guys left this game off. Scoop,
this is a great game.
This is awesome. For those of you, this is the first time they've ever played. I don't know how. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about why these teams have never played?
It's something politically in the state of Arkansas. There was a law for all these years that these two couldn't play, but now this is a neutral site game too. This is in Little Rock at War Memorial Stadium, so this is not going to just be a home game for the Razorbacks, and Pittman kind of was already outspoken about that. I'm taking the points. This is a Super Bowl for Arkansas State. I don't really like Butch Jones as a coach, but getting this many points in a rivalry game at a neutral site, I got to take it north of 3 touchdowns. And Arkansas has some look-ahead spots, man. They got Notre Dame coming up. They got Memphis coming up. I just think it's too much, and I think they're able to stay within this number.
I'm pretty sure they go to Oxford next week, don't they, Arkansas? Pretty sure they're in Ole Miss next week.
Yeah, Arkansas always gets the short end of the stick in the SEC schedule. They always screw them. The SEC is crooked.
So I agree completely. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to throwing a few dollars on a big money line. Like, this is, Arkansas State's playing with house money here. If they lose, it's like, oh, you played an SEC team, and this is their Super Bowl, and it's being talked about, and you got to think this game, and this is just speculation. I feel like this game's more important for Arkansas State than it is for Arkansas. Arkansas State's defense was terrible last year, but I love that they brought in Nate Trailing to coach the defense. I think they're going to be improved. They still don't have like the most talented roster on the defensive side, but I think they have the right coach to on the defensive side of the ball to turn things around. And Rayner can play at quarterback. He can play. Remember, he was a Sun Belt Freshman of the Year a couple years back. They kind of a little bit of a letdown last year. I think this game's close, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if Arkansas State's got a shot to win it at the end. Scoop?
Yeah, I'm on Arkansas State too. I mean, I know. I mean, what did Arkansas have a warm up game last week? I feel like this is going to be so much more competitive than they think. I mean, I like Jalen Rayner too. He did awesome against Missouri State. I know it's Missouri State, but I think the receiving group is like just loaded. I know, like Kyle said, the secondary is a problem. I think Arkansas is going to have their way pretty much on offense as well. I mean, obviously Arkansas has a ridiculous offense. Their ground game is going to be awesome. Taylor Green's awesome, but yeah, Arkansas State has the offense to compete. This should be I think this is going to be a back and forth game. Arkansas State's never played Arkansas before. I think they're probably fired up for this game. I feel like this is going to be an awesome one. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't put this on the schedule, but yeah, Arkansas State's. I think it's going to compete. Definitely. If anything, I would do a first half too for Arkansas.
Yes.
Arkansas State. I feel like they're going to come out strong and kind of punch them in the mouth early.
What about? I got a bet.
What's this first half money line? Like 9-1?
You love that first half money line shit.
I hit Florida State and Idaho State.
I got Old Dominion last week.
What I'm looking at is an alt line for fun. Arkansas State plus 3.5. Just betting on it's going to be a fucking wire, like down to the wire. Alternate spread, Arkansas State plus 680 for plus 3.5. I honestly think Arkansas, it's plus 1,200 for the money line. I think that's going to come down to the wire.
I mean, you're also looking at 63 points. So they're expecting Arkansas State to at least put up 20 something.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't understand why this is still at 17. I don't know what I'm missing. I think Kansas State absolutely smokes Army, like 48-7. I think Kansas State's fine. They lost a nail biter overseas to one of the best teams in the country, and they could have won the game. They lost a nail biter overseas to one of the best teams in the country. And, okay, they came out a little flat against an FCS team at home. Who hasn't? I mean, Oregon almost lost to Idaho last year. Since when do we overreact to shit like that? I think Kansas State's completely fine. And I think the idea that they're no longer a good team is ridiculous. They have one of the best defensive fronts in the country. Should be a top 10 run defense. Army's quarterback isn't even healthy, Dwayne Carter. He might not even play in this game, although I do think he's going to play. But he's banged up. I think Kansas State in an absolute rout. You guys agree?
Yeah, I mean, Army looked bad. It wasn't good. I mean, Dwayne Coleman was rough back there in his first start. And I know Tarleton State's the best Texas football team. But, I mean, come on. I mean, I thought it would be Helms back there at quarterback. I'm not really concerned about, the offense. Just how do you give up 30? I mean, their defense was great last year. They still returned a lot of production. I know their main pieces are gone for the most part, but have some pride at West Point. It's a shame. And it's not like Kansas State looks good. I mean, I know Kyle said they don't look good at all, but they're lucky to escape with a win at home against North Dakota. But this isn't North Dakota State. It's number 20 ranked North Dakota FCS, but I'd have to take them here. It's a lot of points with a team who just makes dumb mistakes, it seems like, every game. And Kansas State's defense has not been good, but their run defense has been solid. Iowa State couldn't run. North Dakota State beat them through the air most of the game. And are you really trusting Dwayne Coleman to throw the ball against you? I mean, he had 2 interceptions against Tarleton with an option offense. So got to imagine whoever's the quarterback, Helms won't do much better. Zach Mundell's there too, but do they use him? I think Army's offense is going to be broken all year.
Scoop telling Army to have some pride with a $60 Fisher Price drum set behind him is hilarious, by the way.
$800 drum set.
I always respect the troops, man. Hey, I'm an Army fan. got family at West Point. I watch every Army game. Army's down this year. They replaced so much from last year's dream season. Me and CJ put this in our contest. We laid it with K-State. This was one of our top 7 of the week. I think this is a beatdown. K-State, bad taste in their mouth. They didn't take it out last week. I think they kill Army as much as you can with the limited possessions in a game with an Army team.
Why is no one betting? What, you could still get 17 at Circa right now. Why is nobody betting? What, I don't understand.
Everybody's out on K-State, man. Everybody's overreacting just to and like you said, they lost a back and forth game to Iowa State, who everybody is now crowning as a playoff contender. I mean, it was a crazy game. They were right there to win it at the end, but they just I'm with you. K-State's not as bad as they've been, or everybody's making it out to be.
I think K-State is Kent State every bit as good as I thought they would be entering the season. I haven't altered my perception of them at all. They looked a little flat against North Dakota, but even in that game, they allowed like 3.1 yards per carry. That was kind of a fluky game. They didn't look nearly as bad as that score indicates. I know it looks like, North Dakota was beating them, but if you actually look at like the yards per play and some of the efficiency numbers, it wasn't that bad at all. And who hasn't played a flat game against an FC? It happens all the time to the best team.
Avery's got to stop turning the ball over.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I will push back on K-State. Some of the throws, I'm like, come on, man. Like, you're not a freshman anymore.
All right, Mac. So I know you and your college experience love these freaking options. So Houston Rice, talk about the option. You should see these guys get going when they talk about an option team on that channel, man. All right.
Oh, yes. Scotty Abel, baby, coming over here, winning the opener at that Louisiana stadium last week, 14-12. Love a nice 14-12 game. This is a rivalry, man. Last time Houston went there 2 years ago, they lost the game outright, the battle for the Bayou here. And I just think I think Rice limit possessions here. Houston doesn't play really that fast as well with Willie Fritz. They have a really good defense. I think there's a low scoring game, 1 possession game. I'm all over Rice in these 14 points in the little brother angle here.
It's tough to argue with the plus 14. I actually am close to placing a bet. I think the 39 total is crazy. I think we're going to see Connor Wegman complete some passes in this game. In fact, I think Willie Fritz held some shit back last week. There was no reason to open up the playbook. Keep in mind, Willie Fritz was throwing the ball at Tulane for years there with Michael Pratt. He's finally got a quarterback. Remember, he spent all last year with who was the quarterback there? It was Zion Chris and Donovan Smith. Like, he didn't really have a thrower last year. He's got one now. Say what you want about Wegman. He's got arm talent. Yes, he's a little bit inconsistent and certainly has had his ups and downs. Don't get me started on the Notre Dame game last year, but he can throw it. So I think Willie Fritz is going to open the playbook up in this rivalry game. I think Houston's going to throw the ball on Rice, but at the same time, Houston's defense, it's all gone from last year. I have no idea what this defense is. I like Mac and Colby always talk about over on the channel, that offense is not easy to stop. It doesn't matter sometimes that they don't have a ton of talent. It's just a tough defense to offense to prepare for. I think Rice is going to move the ball too. I think 39 is way too low here. Over.
Yeah, speaking of option, beautiful offenses, I'm on Rice plus the points. I don't care what Houston looks like. This Rice's team's different this year. Big win against Louisiana to start their season. By the way, Louisiana's quarterback's out for the year, Walker Howard, so you might want to look at that, whoever's betting against Louisiana. But now they're home at Rice Stadium. This is payback for last year's 33-7 game at Houston. I know Houston won 8 of their last 9 in this rivalry, but Rice won here 2 years ago in overtime. Houston, kind of like Louisiana, doesn't face option teams. It's a whole different style of offense. Rice is just going to want to make that clock tick. I think probably 9 of their 12 games are going to go under this year with Rice because it's not an explosive offense or anything. It's definitely different. The strength of Houston's defense, I feel, is their secondary, even with all the pieces in and out. Their front seven's questionable. It'll be questionable against this offense. I mean, Chase Jenkins threw the ball 9 times for Rice last week, 55 carries. So, and it's not like he scrambles. It's just a spread option offense. It's not exactly appealing to watch on television, but it's also not like Houston's offense is magically back. They scored 27 against Stephen F. Austin, and this Rice defense should be good this year. They have good tacklers. They should be able to pressure Connor Wegman. I think this total is at 39.5. I think this goes under, personally. I think this should be a grind them out, 2-hour, 15-minute football game. Yeah, I think Kyle doesn't understand Rice's defense this year.
Rice's defense, that was more Louisiana being trash last week than
you
Rice.
Automatically trust Houston's offense from
I trust
Connor
Wegman can spin it, man.
All right.
And Rice is, I think it gets over. Next up, Western Kentucky, Toledo. I have no idea. I'm all ears. I really don't know what to do with this one. Scoop, Mac, whoever wants to take it, I really don't know.
Go ahead, man.
I'm going to lay it with Toledo. I think Toledo, disappointing last week. A lot of people thought they had a shot to win outright, but they outgained Kentucky in the game. I think that this Toledo veteran group bounced back at home against a Western Kentucky team that I think has played limited competition with Sam Houston in North Alabama. First time, a great name, Maverick MacGyver's hitting the road here at the FBS level. So I'm going to lay it with Toledo up there in the state of Ohio. I think that they win this by double digits. A revenge game, too, from last year.
What do you think, Scoop?
I said it with Western Kentucky before. They constantly lose a ton of pieces, but Tyson Helton builds his team back up again, somehow finishes the top of the conference yearly. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Western Kentucky. I'm not betting it, but 100 points in 2 games so far. Maverick MacGyver in his 2 games looks like he's still at Abilene Christian and has almost, he had almost 4,000 yards there, 30 touchdowns. I mean, he had 400 yards against Sam Houston, 305 touchdowns last week. But, I mean, they're playing what's probably the MAC's best team next to Buffalo. I love my Bulls. But I'm going to grab them here. I think that this offense can really move the ball effectively against Toledo. I think they'll have to rely more on their run game than they had the first 2 games because Toledo lost a ton in their front 7. I think they can be beat on the ground. But MacGyver through 2 weeks looks like the real deal. Toledo and Gleason should be able to move the ball fairly well. I mean, but I like Western Kentucky's backs, even with Stout and Matthews gone. I really think Western Kentucky is a dark horse kind of Conference USA team this year. I mean, I don't guess it's not a dark horse. They're always in the top. But this team always has a great passing attack every year until last year where they were awful. But it seems to be back this year. Rick Bowie took that Abilene Christian offense, is trying to put it right here. So I think this is – it's going to be a lot of points, I think, this game too. So
yeah, I'll put up over. I'm big on the Toledo offense this year, and I know – didn't look great last week against Kentucky. But, I mean, that Kentucky defense might be really strong, and that's not an easy place to go put up points. So I'm not going to let that game just sell me off the Toledo offense. They bring back a lot of production from last year. They're greatly upgraded at the RB position. Their guy was hurt last year, and they bring back the guy who played instead. Bring back the guy who was hurt, and then brought in Chip T, the transfer, Chip Trainum. So they're upgraded in the backfield. They got the quarterback back. Should be in good shape on the offensive line. I think this Toledo offense is going to be very strong. And I mean, it's Tyson Helton. Doesn't matter who you put on the field, he's going to score points. So you give me over. But I really don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this game. Next up.
This is one I don't know how to feel about this game.
This one, Memphis, Georgia State.
Yeah, no idea.
I mean, Memphis is more than 2 touchdowns better than Georgia State anywhere.
So I'm not very high in Memphis this year. At least I don't think any of us are. Really, are we? At least I'm not. I mean,
Georgia State's terrible, dude.
No, I get that. I mean, this team is a complete overhaul. Seth Hannigan's gone. I'm not a huge Brendan Lewis fan. I think we talked about it in the preview from Nevada. He had Nevada. So okay, he had an okay season last year. Didn't look great against Chattanooga last week. I really think AJ Hill would be a better piece offensively for Memphis, but I don't really like the makeup of the team. Brendan Lewis is kind of like he kind of has a who's who of receivers there. Their whole line is new except Chris Adams. Memphis's defense was pretty awful last year. They returned 2 starters there. But, I mean, on the other hand, like Kyle was saying, how do you trust really anything Georgia State's putting out? I mean, lost 63-7 to Ole Miss. Christian Below is still Christian Below. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. And, I mean, he was benched last year and only got the job back because Gibson got hurt. So Georgia State's defense wasn't exactly good last year either. I mean, didn't show anything against Ole Miss. I mean, it is Ole Miss, but I'm just not sure about this game. It's kind of an ugly game, but laying 14 with a completely new Memphis squad with Brendan Lewis as your quarterback is not something I would like to do. So I'm going to take Georgia State. I don't know why, but I'm just going to take Georgia State.
Why? Because you're a bad gambler. That's why.
Well, I'm just not putting money on
it. Mac, Memphis here, right?
No, I'm taking Georgia State.
Remember, also a bad gambler.
Georgia State beat Vanderbilt week 2 last year, coming off that Virginia Tech game. So they've had success under Del McGee as a big dog here. And like you said, I need to see it more from this Memphis team before I lay 2 touchdowns on the road. I'm not the biggest Brandon Lewis fan as well. And Silverfield has laid eggs on the road in the past. So, yeah, give me the points, 14. Yeah, let's go.
I mean, I would love to talk shit and be like, no, but like, honestly, I don't feel very strongly about it. So it would be manufactured shit talking. Give me Memphis, but I don't even want to talk about this game, to be honest. Georgia State's terrible. I think they're like, there's probably 7 or 8 teams I put below. I don't think Georgia State's good at all. The team's terrible.
That game was ugly last week against Ole Miss.
Yeah. Tulane, South Alabama. Mac?
I'm on South Alabama here. I think this line is a little bit inflated. I think it should be closer to 10. I know Retzlaff looked good, but I mean, this is kind of a sandwich spot here. You play Northwestern in the opener. Obviously, the headlines about the jerseys, and there's a lot of animosity going into that game. But they have the Mensa Bowl on deck. They got Duke coming down to New Orleans to welcome in the Dukies next week in prime time. South Alabama under Applewhite, offensively, they usually move the ball pretty well here. So I'll take the home dog getting 13, but I don't have it. This is like Georgia State. I'm kind of just blindly backing the home dog here just because I think this line's a little bit inflated by field goal or so.
Yeah, I completely agree. I actually was close to betting this one. I completely agree with South Alabama plus the points. I don't think Tulane looked all that great last week. I think Northwestern gifting them shit. I mean, what did Preston Stone end up throwing?
4 interceptions.
Was it 4?
Yeah,
4 interceptions in the game. I mean, you get gifted 4 interceptions and only score 23 points. That's not a great football game. Yeah, I think Tulane, based on the final score and what happened there, that everyone's kind of like, oh, Tulane beats a Big Ten team by 20. Nah, Northwestern beat Northwestern by 20. So, yeah, almost 2 touchdowns. South Alabama last year, I thought they were going to be so bad with Gio Lopez. And they ended up, I mean, I lost several bets fading the South Alabama team last year. So I'm not sleeping on this program anymore. Close to 2 touchdowns, yeah, be South Alabama. Scoop?
Yeah, that was a great Northwestern bet I had last week. Really solid.
We all three across.
I'm not even. Like Kyle said, Tulane didn't win that game. They won that game because Preston Stone was kind of incompetent. He had a 50% completion percentage too with those 4 picks. I mean, Northwestern's pass defense, like you said, didn't even do that bad. I said they would shut down Retzlaff because I think he was a bit on the overrated side. They did that. I mean, through the air anyway. They could not stop on Tulane on the ground, pretty much. But South Alabama is going to have an offense. More than that, more than Northwestern did, obviously. So Davenport did fine last week, 12 or 14, 2 touchdowns, didn't have to do much. Did better than Gio Lopez did for North Carolina anyway from last week. So this was 10.5. It's up, like Max said. Now it's up to 13. I like South Alabama here. I mean, I don't think South Alabama really showed anything urgency offensively last week. They could have put up 50+ last week. I said it last game. I don't think Tulane is as good as people think this year. 13 points for South Alabama at home seems to be a solid bet. They did lose a lot defensively. I know they did great in the portal. Maybe if they show in back-to-back games, I think Tulane's defense I'll put some faith in. But yeah, South Alabama is going to have a pass game here, even though they lost Bothwell, Bullock, a bunch of running backs. I feel like their running attack's going to do better than Northwestern did. So I'm going to take South Alabama.
I feel better about South Alabama the more and more I listen to you guys and look at that box score of the Tulane game. I'm pretty confident in this one, actually, the more and more I think about it.
Yeah,
this is too many points.
I watched every play of that Northwestern Tulane game, every single play, and it was in the third quarter, and they were down like 23-3 or whatever. Yeah. I still thought I was going to cover my plus 6.5. That's how unimpressed I was with Tulane. I still thought, just a couple touchdowns. I'm still live in this at plus 6. I was just Tulane was not blowing them off the ball like that. It wasn't. It was just an ugly game on Northwestern's part. I don't think Tulane looked great. Keep in mind, Retzlaff also broke that long 80-yard run without the interceptions and without the 80-yard run. What does that game look like? Honestly, so best game, dude. This is the best game of the night. It's crazy. Arizona State, Mississippi State is the most lit game on the board. This place is going to be going nuts. This is what I'm worried about, Max. So you guys, if you watch the show, you know what we're all on. We're all on the Bulldogs here. I'm a little worried that I feel like everyone's taking the Bulldogs, and why is it still? I thought this was going to close at like 4. It's saying somewhere out there are people betting Arizona State keeping this up. Everyone I talk to likes Mississippi State.
I think maybe the market dynamics crowd may just be buying back on Arizona State just because it did open at 10 on the look ahead. So, but I mean, I've been talking up this upset spot all summer. I thought Mississippi State, they were going to bounce back year two. Jeff Levy. I honestly, their performance against Southern Miss in week one, I thought was one of the more underappreciated games going into that environment and really controlling the line of scrimmage. They got Shapen back at the quarterback position. They're healthy. And everything I said with Illinois earlier in the year, I thought Illinois came into the year a little bit overrated with all their close wins last year. I think Arizona State did. They got that cute little number next to them. Going from the hunter to the hunted here. Target on your back. Top 10. Touchdown favorite in Starkville. That place is going to be on fire tonight. I think Mississippi State wins outright and they storm the field.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this earlier in the week, but from laying 7 points last year in Tempe to catching 7 points at home, it's a 14-point swing across a billion key numbers. And with the change of location, it's like 2.5 to a neutral, 2.5 to away game. That's like a 19-point swing in terms of just betting value. What have we seen in the last year to swing at three touchdowns? That's like a top 25 team down to like the in the 90s. That's a serious swing. Yeah, and not to mention the place is going to be going crazy. No hesitation. I'm on Mississippi State +7. I honestly, I don't just think I think they win. Honestly, I think they're going to win the game. Scoop.
Cowbells.
I'm on the over. Said it Monday. I'm not taking Mississippi State. Just don't trust them yet. But Arizona State's defense isn't great. I mean, they gave up 19 to Northern Arizona, 242 yards through the air, and like I said last year, they gave up a lot of points to just bad offenses. So, I mean, this Arizona State team had 201 carries last week, 203 yards. I find it hard to see how Mississippi State can stop Arizona State's offense. Their offense is stacked. But, I mean, Mississippi State can put up points, like you guys said. I mean, Blake Shapen looked good in his first week back. I love their running backs. They played a strong Southern Miss team last week. They pulled away late. They showed they can win these battles. Obviously, this is a different type of team in Arizona State, but I don't know how much Arizona State's defense is compared to Southern Miss. I feel like they're kind of the same. I feel like Southern Miss was Marshall's defense last year, who was awesome. So Arizona State, I mean, flying over to Davis Wade, these fans need something to cheer for. They've been hungry for a good team in Mississippi State. I feel like they can make a point offensively. I feel like this is going to be a back and forth type of game, so I'm on the over here.
I polled the crowd. 69% Mississippi State, 22% out. Yeah, everyone's betting the Bulldogs here. Who cares? We're taking it.
Who cares?
Man, if it wasn't for freaking Oklahoma's offensive line, this game would be... I mean, it'll still be awesome. It's just... There's like 3 members of the Oklahoma offensive line that are questionable.
Which is the same as last year. It's literally the same thing.
I know. The injury bug...
Oklahoma's constantly hurt.
The injury bug carried over. Scoop, you have a pick or anything in this game?
Yeah, I mean, it should still be a fun one. What's crazy is these two teams, this is only their second time they've ever played each other. The last time was 50 years ago, the last time these two played. Yeah, Oklahoma laying 5. I called John Mateer the Sooner savior. Still believe that. I think he's an awesome quarterback, can do it on the ground and in the air. Underwood looked decent last week. Justice Haynes obviously looks awesome. I think the Babaloa injury may be hard to overcome in this kind of early matchup. I kind of lean Oklahoma here. Overall, though, I'm going with the under. Michigan's defense is loaded like they do every year. It looks awesome. Their front 7 dominated the run. I think that can happen here against Oklahoma. Oklahoma didn't have much of a rushing attack against Illinois State. I mean, 32 carries for 103 yards, not great. But you're also having Underwood going into Norman, new quarterback with a way improved Oklahoma defense, who really was, like I just said, killed last year with injuries. But their offense and defense are a whole lot better, especially their secondary. I think they're all young and they were all hurt last year. I really think Mateer will have enough plays here to move the ball with his legs. I think he's a better passer than Kyle thinks. But this Michigan team is going to be a really tough test for Oklahoma, one of the harder places to play with a new quarterback. So I am on the under, but if I was making a side, I would lean Oklahoma laying the points.
Yeah, Mateer really carved up those Pac-2 defenses. Ooh, he had a monster game against San Jose State last year. Yeah,
I don't even justify a response, so that's fine.
Max, so I was watching a lot of college football content last couple days, and it seems like the overall consensus is that Underwood passed the eye test. I think most people that I've listened to are saying he looked pretty good in the opener. I have to push back a little bit. He only attempted 2 passes of 20 or more yards. They were able to average 6.3 yards per carry in that game, or 6.2 or whatever it was. They're not good. They might not be able to run the ball, Michigan, in this game. Oklahoma's not Oklahoma State. They could run the ball.
No, they would definitely be run on.
Oklahoma's defensive line is one of the best in the country. They've got 320 plus pounders there on the defensive line. I don't think Michigan can run the ball. So, yeah, Bryce Underwood gets a positive stamp of approval from the critics after week 1. Well, it's going to be a different story, dropping back, trying to throw it in this building. So I kind of want to bet Oklahoma. It's just the offensive line. What do you think, Mac?
I'm all over Oklahoma. I'm going to keep riding my system play. I'm going to fade a highly talented young quarterback in his first road start. This is a different animal going into Norman, prime time, again, in that atmosphere. And Venables is as good a defensive mind as anybody in the country. He was the architecture of all those great Clemson defenses. Oklahoma, yeah, he struggled as a head coach a little bit, but the main thing has been their offense. Their offense has been inconsistent. Their defense has been good all 3 years under Venables, especially last year. So I think Mateer makes enough plays here. I think they open it up late, and I think that another young quarterback falls on the road in his first road start. So I'll lay the 5 with Boomer Sooner.
Let's do it. I'm with you, and I agree with every single word. The only thing that's holding me back is laying more than a field goal, and I'm not sure if Oklahoma's offensive line comes out missing a couple of pieces, it is Michigan, and that could be a little bit of a concern. But Mateer's an athlete, so maybe he can make it work and make some plays. But I agree with every word.
And a good passer. He's a good passer.
I got like a 24-17 type game.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech. The more I looked at this game, I didn't like this game at all when I first looked at it. And now I love my bet in this game. Pavia's about to get smoked, bro. I know.
Hey,
he's another one of the don't insult Pavia around the
I love Pavia.
Hey, I love Pavia. I've made a lot of money on Pavia, but everything you said about Mississippi State and Arizona State, Virginia Tech was laying 13 at Vanderbilt on opening day last year. Lost as a double touchdown favorite. Now we're getting them less than a field goal in prime time at Lane Stadium off a loss. I actually thought the Hokies played pretty well in that opener. They just had the special teams blunder where they got Beamer balled, of all things, against their former walk-on and son. But, yeah, I'm going to take Virginia Tech at a discounted price here at home. It's now or never, man. Drones has got to play better. Brent Pry needs this game like blood.
Yeah, I think it's like, okay, this Brent Pry thing isn't working if they lose this. Honestly, there's no coming back from it if they lose this one. But, yeah, like you said, they played pretty well last week. They just didn't execute on a few plays there, a few key plays. And this is an entirely different experience or environment for Kyron Jones. He's on the road, or they were in a neutral against South Carolina. That one dude, Stewart or whatever, was in Jones' face every single time. It's probably, I don't know much about him. It's a South Carolina edge rusher. I bet you he's a top 5 NFL pick in the next. Dude. Yeah, he's nice, right? Dylan Stewart, that's his name. Vanderbilt doesn't have talent like that, and Vanderbilt brings back a lot of production on the defensive side of the ball. This is not a good defense last year. This is not a good pass rush last year. So you go from on the road or away from home, let's say, against South Carolina's defensive front to now at home against Vanderbilt's defensive front. Kyron Jones has taken a lot of shit on Twitter and in the media because he didn't look good in that South Carolina game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a complete 180. I think he's going to look like the man in this game. I think he's going to piece Vanderbilt up. Also, Vanderbilt, I know we've kind of just labeled Pavia as magic and like, hey, it's not going to make sense. They're going to score points. They weren't nearly as good on the road last year. A lot of the Pavia magic came at home. There was actually a couple ugly ones there on the road for Vanderbilt. Not so much Pavia specifically, but they lost to Georgia State on the road, and actually they played Missouri down to the wire. They didn't get blown out or anything. But this Vanderbilt team, the magic, we saw more of it at home, and I kind of had enough of Pavia. I swear to God, watching College Experience makes me root against Pavia. Every time I'm like, I'm done with this guy. I've had enough.
I love Pavia, but he's going down tonight.
Yeah.
No pissing tonight.
Yeah, I got Virginia Tech money line in this one, and I'm calm. I like my bet a lot. Scoop?
Yeah, so I took Virginia Tech one time, and that's what they do to me. So Kyron Jones is not a good quarterback. I mean, I was right all along. I don't care if it was one game against South Carolina. Huge game. Diego Piston Pavia is going to shred this team apart. Picking up where he left off, dismantled Georgia Southern.
He dismantled Georgia Southern.
Okay, no. So seriously,
Southern. It's Charleston Southern. It wasn't even Georgia Southern.
Oh yeah, it's Charleston Southern. All right. So, okay. So, but really, I looked at this game before. I mean, looking at the lines, and I was gonna hammer Vandy. I thought the spread's gonna be like, 4.5, 5 for Vanderbilt, and no, it's 1.5. I mean, I'm not comfortable betting Vanderbilt on the road here. Virginia Tech is not that bad. I did say Kyron Drones and his team is good enough to get you fired, pretty much. I still feel that way. They're always underperforming, but overall, I mean, I feel like Virginia Tech was in that game, like Max said, until the fourth where they fell apart. I also think on paper, team offensively and defensively are better than Vanderbilt. It's hard betting against, obviously, my favorite quarterback in the country, but that Virginia Tech game, I mean, everything was similar. Yards were even, around the same passing and rushing yards. Virginia Tech had less penalties. They were even 8 for 18 on third down. So the problem with is Kyron Drones did. I mean, 2 interceptions. He's inaccurate, but South Carolina's defense is way better than Vanderbilt's, especially their secondary. I took Virginia Tech on the money line. If they lose, like Kyle said, I think Brent Pry may be in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know how you talk your way out of this loss, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. We got 6 games left in 25 minutes. We're right on time. I wasn't even timing it. We kind of killed it. Where we got 4 minutes a game for the last 6. We're right on time to finish at 11:55. Boston. Speaking of like put up or shut up type of, Jonathan Smith needs this one. The leeway is over, and I gave him some leeway. I liked the higher. I'm kind of rooting for Aiden Childs there. I would like to see Michigan State this experiment here work. But I gave him the leeway. We're now in year 2, a home game against Boston College, who also is going through some shit themselves. You better win this game, Michigan State. You better, if Michigan State lays an egg here, I'm done. Like, I'm declaring it a failure. The leeway's over for Michigan State. Mac, you agree?
Yeah, that's why I have Sparty in this game. I think this is a high urgency game at home. I mean, BC's in year 2 as well with Bill O'Brien. So, I mean, you're both programs kind of on the same trajectory a little bit, trying to get back to what they were once upon a time. But I think Sparty is better at the line of scrimmage here. They played last year in Chestnut Hill. There was an entertaining game. BC got the best of them. But I like Sparty here under the lights. I think it's going to be a raucous environment for the most part. So, yeah, I think Sparty pulls away late here. Jonathan Smith and Childs get a big win at home.
What do you think, Scoop?
So Boston College and Longren played pretty angry on offense last week, especially that second half when Grayson James joined the fun. I mean, the thing with Boston College is I'm not sure about their run game. I mean, they looked awful against Fordham. They had like a 2.6 yards per carry against Fordham. They did try to run the ball too. They had ran it 38 times. So the line didn't open it up for Turbo. I wasn't sure about the right side of their line to begin with going into the season. I'm also not a fan of Aiden Childs on Michigan State, as it's been well established. But Michigan State's defense, I think they're going to hold Boston College down long enough for their offense to do something. I think Boston College's offense is better than their defense. I'm just not really sure. I'm not really sure what Michigan State's offense kind of brings to the table this year. Michigan State will probably put it on the ground a lot here. Frazier and Tolis had great games last week. Paul Tolliver didn't really find much running room at all, but this feels like a run game with Michigan State's against a pass game with Boston College. And I do like Michigan State's secondary better than I like Boston College's front seven. So you're going to see Michigan State's pass defense do well throughout the year. Their defense played solid as a whole last week. I'm going to take Michigan State here, laying the 3.5 to Boston College.
I can't lay more than a field goal in this game. I've been a Childs apologist.
I know you're fading Childs.
Get your guy.
Just give me an over. Childs has got receivers there. The problem is Michigan State plays so goddamn slow. And even last week against Western Michigan, there was just like no explosive plays. And so over or pass. I honestly don't know. I don't know what to think about Jonathan Smith and Michigan State anymore. I can't believe they didn't just house Western Michigan last week. I still like. The game was like weirdly competitive. Michigan State was sold start to finish, but I don't know.
It was like 20-0 in the blink of an eye, and then they just never scored again.
They couldn't do
it was
shit.
Weird. Yeah.
I don't know. The whole That game, the last, I've been on Michigan State a few times recently, and I didn't lose every single bet, but every time I'm watching, like I just lose a little bit of confidence. I'm like, maybe this is not working. Nico resurgence. Nico's gonna put up a monster stat line in this game, and then Mac's gonna go on his show after and claim it was all Deshaun Foster, and like Nico was put in a really good position.
So I'm on Mac here in the Nico hate. I don't think Nico's great at all. He's a great game manager, which is what you say when a quarterback is, which is a great which is what you say when a quarterback isn't talented. So I probably wouldn't give him bulletin board material like the UNLV, DB said with Amaris Brown saying nothing really stands out. But I mean, I do agree with him, but still, I don't really know. I feel like UNLV wins this game outright. I mean, they're home. Their offense has been moving the ball in 2 games. I understand it's Idaho State and Sam Houston, 2 terrible defenses. But the way UCLA looked against Utah, I'm not really sure they can hold anyone down either. So before the season started, Kyle, I mean, you and me both said the secondary for UCLA is going to have some growing pains. They're going to be a lot of mixing and matching. There's really no starters here. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces in and out. I mean, their defense should take a step back again here. I mean, Pelandria doesn't move the ball like Dampier, but so far in 2 games, he looked great. Jaden Thomas and Kevon Lee can easily have, a 6+ yard per carry average here if Pelandria's moving the ball well. I don't like this UCLA defense at all. Deshaun Foster may not be it for UCLA. Weird press conferences last year. Not a good coach. If they start the season 0-2, it's going to be a rough go this whole season for this team. UCLA will move the ball a lot better than obviously this game than they did against Utah. But I mean, because Utah's defense is always solid, but UNLV will have enough headway on their offense. I feel like they can win this game outright. So give me UNLV.
Over.
For that.
Nico's about to put together a monster stat line, add to his highlight reel. Calling him a game manager, he's like the opposite of a game manager. He's like a crazy talented quarterback that can't manage a game. He's like literally the opposite of a game manager. The Nico hate college football old heads like Mac, and they hate what Nico represents, like the demanding money and taking business stances. I'm not saying I'm a fan of it. I'm just saying that's going to make them biased in the event because they hate that. So they're going to hate Nico. And I don't even really like Nico, but he made some plays last week. And the story of that Utah game was not Nico sucks. It was Utah's offensive line looked like they were playing an FCS defense, honestly. Over 55. I think UCLA could score 50 in this game. So I can't believe this is still 55. I'm on this over 55. Mac?
I can't wait to be drunk tweeting you tonight because this game is in the late window here. Hey, I am on UCLA in this spot. I'm backing Nico
coming around
against Vegas.
Coming around.
I think this Vegas team is phony. You look at what they did. Yeah, they beat Sam Houston. I don't think Sam Houston's good at all. They beat Idaho State barely in week 0. Idaho State turned around and got housed by Southern Utah the very next week. So I think actually if Nico's going to pad some stats, this is the game to get going in that dome. I do agree with you over that it's going to be a track meet. But I just think UCLA has more firepower. Yeah, they got embarrassed last week. Nico did suck in that game, but I do agree it's more about Utah being really, really good. And I think Utah is the Big 12 front runner. So I'll take UCLA in a bounce back spot against what I think is a phony UNLV team.
Yeah, by the way, as far as a side, definitely UNLV too. In fact, UCLA too. I almost bet UCLA, but I was like, why? Like, I like UCLA to score a lot of points. Why not just take the over because of how UCLA's defense looked? Yeah, I like this over.
What time does this game start?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. All right, yeah. You're going to be getting some tweets later if he starts stinking it up again.
Nah, but he's about to piece UNLV up. I will say I'm going to be running out of material to defend him if he doesn't piece UNLV.
If he doesn't
light them up. I mean, Idaho State and Houston lit them up.
Right.
All right, so all the college football heads are all in on Tulsa. I get it. I think it's crazy to lay 3.5 on the road with Tulsa. I get it. Trey Lamb's, there's high vibes in Tulsa. Trey Lamb's like, we're running an air raid offense, and they bring back Kirk Francis at quarterback. They're definitely in better shape than New Mexico State. That is looking like if Kent State didn't exist, that New Mexico State might be the worst team in the country. So I get it, but laying more than a field goal on the road with Tulsa because of like a couple press conferences and one football game sounds nuts to me. So it'll only be New Mexico State for me, but I don't really feel very strongly about it. In fact, I'm not sure how this game even made the list. Mac, what do you think?
I mean, it's a short number, but I was impressed with what Tulsa did last week against Abilene Christian, who's a pretty good FCS team. Abilene might be better than New Mexico State, to be honest. So the Sanchez era with New Mexico State has been very underwhelming. I think some people are still living off of the Pavia New Mexico State bump here. New Mexico State is, like you said, the second worst FBS team, just in front of Kent State. So I think Tulsa puts it on them. It's a new era, and I think we're getting a discount compared to what this number would be later in the year around a touchdown. I'm pretty high on Tulsa this year with Lamb. I think he's a good coach.
Scoop.
Yeah, I love Tulsa going in that locker room last week when they beat Abilene Christian. Like they won the Natty. They were going nuts. It was cute. They deserved it. I think they were just happy they held the team to 7 points. Every team scored at least 20 last year. It was a brutal defense last year. I still don't know if they're good. I mean, I think positive regression was coming no matter what, since they were dead last in pass defense last year. Yeah, they were last. They were literally dead last. I mean, Josh Reardon's a new DC. I feel like he's going to dial up some blitzes here, cause some problems for New Mexico State. Backing Tulsa makes me question my life choices, but I did bet Tulsa here. New Mexico State looks lifeless. They had a 19-3 win over Bryant, and it was 9-3 headed into the fourth. Logan Fife completed less than 50% of his completion, his passes. He only outgained Bryant by 50 yards and had 3 more first downs. So, and they were worse on third downs. The O-line didn't look good. They're all new this year. They had no pass game last year. It doesn't seem like anything changed so far this year. Call me crazy. I think Tulsa can move the ball here. New Mexico State secondary didn't have any FBS experience coming into the year. They weren't good in the first place, but it's still new. I know Tulsa has 34 new transfers total this year for a team that, I mean, I think it's going to help out both sides of the ball. The issue with Tulsa is they never have a run game, but they ran for 268 yards last week. I feel like that's a school record. Tulsa's going to win this one on the road. Yeah, give me Tulsa.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the minority, by the way. This one opened up at 1.5. Tulsa's been getting everyone loves Tulsa. Everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid.
I think it's more we hate New Mexico State.
Maybe.
that Bryant game was underwhelming. I was like, good God, this program's bad.
Yeah, and so I'm not much of an FCS person, but I was doing some reading, and I talked to a guest I had on, and apparently Bryant's got one of the worst defenses in the FCS.
Yeah, it was like it was 9-3. I was like, good God.
They couldn't even move the ball against one of the worst FCS defenses. Oh, yeah. I don't care if it's one. Don't need any points. San Diego State outright. People are sleeping on – people forgot all about Sean Lewis, and he's got a quarterback now. He's got receivers that can make plays. He's got his entire defense back. There's a DM conversation with Mac when he was talking about San Jose State, and I said, you've picked the wrong Mountain West team. This is the dark horse to win the Mountain West here. San Diego State minus 15.5 was one of my favorite plays last week against Stony Brook. Yes, this isn't Stony Brook, but Pullman is a wasteland right now. So give me San Diego State to win this one outright.
Yeah, I said it before. I don't think Washington State's going to be great this year. Defense will be way better than offense. It did show last week against Idaho. Thought Idaho would keep it close. They did. It really was an ugly FCS versus like FCS kind of matchup. Washington State kicked the field goal. I mean, to win the game. This opened at what, 6.5? It's down to like a pick 'em. I really like the San Diego State team this year, like Kyle. I think all of us kind of do. I know it's not easy going to Pullman and pulling off an upset, but I mean Idaho almost did, and Idaho's not a strong Idaho team. This is pieces that lost pieces on both sides of the ball when Idaho's coach Jason Eck went to New Mexico. Said it before. If San Diego State's defense plays up to the level they should at all, they're going to be in a lot of these games. Denigal will be a fine quarterback. I think he'll be fine here. Washington State, I guess, has an All-American FCS secondary, but I just find it hard to see how they're going to move the ball offensively at all. San Diego State's secondary returned everyone. Their front seven solid. Washington State's running game against Idaho, they had 22 carries for 3 yards. Washington State, 22 for 3. That's what they had 3 total yards. So that O-line and the running backs look awful. I don't think Potter will be able to throw the ball on San Diego State. I think San Diego State wins this game easily, in my opinion.
Mac, you with us?
I haven't seen one person take Wazoo. I'll be the guy to take Wazoo.
I know.
I'm taking Pullman, man. Rogers, I know it was an underwhelming first game. Potter at the quarterback position. I'm going to back the home atmosphere here. I like Sean Lewis too, but
What atmosphere?
Sean
This
Lewis
place sucks, dude. That's where Toast is from.
Oh, Pullman's
Toast-
great. They got
Toast is
screwed
from
in conference expansion. We got freaking Rutgers and Northwestern in the Big Ten. Washington State's better than both of those programs.
Come on, bro,
So,
with the Rutgers.
What?
Rutgers
Vanderbilt, get all these other teams at Maryland. They don't deserve to be. Washington State does. I love Pullman. I think Potter and company. They got a game under their belt. That's a rivalry game against Idaho. I think everybody's disrespected them. I think they bounce back and play well tonight, just like Oregon State.
All right.
Pac-2, big.
2 games left. Stanford BYU. I didn't even look at this game, to be honest. I kind of think I want to take Stanford at the big number, but it's disgusting. Mac? Oh, my bad. Want to scoop? You want to
No, go ahead.
Scoop, something told me Scoop was not running to really break down BYU and Stanford here. Bachmeier, first start, I thought he was impressive. 3 touchdowns on 11 attempts. But a game of film here. I'll take Stanford. They had a bye week last week off that Hawaii trip. Get it? I mean, 20 and a half is a lot of points to lay with the young quarterback in his second start. I know it's Provo, but I'll take the points. BYU wins by 14.
Yeah, I agree. And also the way Stanford plays. We saw a lot of running the football in that Hawaii game, and although it wasn't successful for a lot of the game, there were a couple of spots where it's like, oh shit, okay, the Stanford offense is chewing clock, and then Hawaii couldn't get them off the field. I think Hawaii's a good defense too, so this is a big number in a game that might be slow paced, especially when Stanford has the ball. Galbranson is experienced. He's not the most dynamic quarterback in the country, but he is experienced. Yeah, I think this number's too big. Scoop.
Yeah, Stanford already had their bye after that Hawaii game. They needed it. Gulberson in that passing offense, I feel like they're going to be absolutely brutal this year. Not that I think that's especially a strong suit of BYU, their pass defense, but I feel like this defense is going to play up and stop Stanford's run game. There's nothing threatening at all about Stanford's offense. Their quarterback's average. Their running backs aren't anything special. And I'm not even high on BYU this year, but Big Game Bear, like his brother Big Game Hank, should be able to piece this defense apart for Stanford if he's starting. I don't really think they're even too sure about their quarterback situation at BYU, but I think it's Bear, right? Bear is going to be the number one.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So, I mean, Stanford did well against a newer quarterback in Alhado, but Hawaii has still put up 23. I think BYU has the talent to put up close to 31, 35, while holding Stanford to what? I mean, 10. I mean, keep that in mind. I mean, Stanford came into the season with an interim coaching staff. They told them they're not going to be here the next year. It's a bit rough to play for. This team had an average yard per play of 3.9 yards against Hawaii. You don't want to go to Provo on a Mormon Saturday night, man. It gets wild. I don't even want to explain what they get into with the Mormons. So BYU by 30. I think BYU absolutely destroys the Stanford team.
They're not getting into much because they just kicked a guy out for getting into something.
That's laugh.
You just don't understand. There's some soaking going on.
And by the way, someone asked, I thought Toast was from Alaska. No, Toast is from Spokane. They're Gonzaga Pullman people. His parents.
Toast isn't going to be in Alaska much longer. Next year he's moving.
Toast is from Spokane, big Gonzaga fan, and his parents have season tickets to Washington State. So he lives in Alaska now. But all right, last game on the board, and then we'll go watch some football. Any word is he playing? I don't think he's playing.
I don't think he is either, but he was out of the boot. Either way, man, I'm going to take Hawaii. Yeah. I think this Sam Houston defense is dead. I think whoever plays quarterback for Hawaii, they're able to move the ball. Timmy Chang can scheme some things up. And I'll just fade the travel spot. Third game in 3 weeks. Now got to go out to Hawaii. I'll lay the number with Hawaii.
Yeah, I'd said Hawaii or pass. Didn't spend a ton of time on this with the quarterback question mark. Sam Houston State's defense it might be the worst thing we've ever seen. They lost everybody from last year. The way Phil Longo coaches, does the defense no favors. Just like Max said, regardless who the quarterback is, I can't see Sam Houston State making stops. I don't think Sam Houston State could make stops at the FCS level right now. Scoop?
Yeah, so Hawaii did play a week after Stanford got blitzed by Arizona, but it's not like Arizona destroyed them offensively. They outgained them by 50 yards. Hawaii held Arizona to 3 for 11 on third downs, and Fafita only threw for 161. Hawaii got killed by the 5 turnovers, but the defense held their own. I mean, Arizona in that game had 10 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 3 picks, 2 fumble recoveries. You're not going to get far with that for Hawaii. And that, I mean, Alahada only threw for the 1. After they got hurt the second half of the game, it was Luke Weaver taking over and looked pretty miserable back there, 50% completion percentage, and had 2 of those picks. Sam Houston's just very bad defensively. They're going to be one of the worst in the country. Their offense can still move the ball pretty well, but Arizona's offense is different than Sam Houston's. This bet really does. I mean, I'm on Hawaii, but the bet does really rely on Alajado's injury. Luke Weaver's back there. It doesn't give me the same type of conference, but I guess this is a good spot for Weaver to come into if he does play against the Sam Houston team that's like Max said, flying over to Hawaii. I mean, listen, Sam Houston gave up 650 yards passing through 2 games, which is 7th worst so far, 39.5 points per game. So I think Hawaii can win this one even with Weaver back there. So I'm gonna be on Hawaii.
All right, that's the last one. Make sure you guys give Mac a follow. We'll be back next week at 10 a.m. Sorry about last week, by the way. This game is on at midnight. This is like so old. I didn't think we were having. Yeah, I didn't think we were having these anymore. Because remember last year at the beginning, it was like, oh, we're not going to see them anymore late night. I guess they got rid of that. Like I thought
they brought it back, baby.
Yeah, which is awesome. It's like it goes from 12 hours of football to like 16 hours of football.
I will say on this one, if they do rule out Alejado like last minute, see if you can get the 6.5. See if you get a late dip on an overreaction to finally you get in the report.
Well, you got time. It's still 12 hours away.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I was bringing up. The time is. I was saying I might bet this one later. We'll see. This is like a long time from now.
Yeah. So if I'm up, like if I'm up a lot of money, I'll bet this game just because. And if I'm down a lot of money, I'll bet this just to win my money back. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
So I'm betting the game. All right. Make sure you guys give these guys a follow. Let's go watch some football. Give me about 15 minutes to get something to eat. If you're hanging out and watching the games in the Discord with me, I'll be in there. Just give me like 15 minutes to grab something to eat. I'll be right back. Everyone enjoy your day. Let's go.